I just did my show on Monday, and I actually forgot that they were there. I just did my show. On Tuesday, I got a call from them asking for an appointment on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I was offered a contract to come. And I came to Lesedi FM, came to do the afternoon drive show, and I did it for 14 years straight.
Yo.
I did it for 1-4, straight, no breaks, nothing. Nothing, no pushing more fire.
I invited Amanda Dupont.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah, and I went with her at that event. And there's a picture even now in their case. Sadly, it's a sensitive matter, but I have to mention this one. I took that picture. There's a story or there's a call that we have from the Home Affairs. This person wants to speak to you live on air. Yeah. And at the time, the manager, I think it was Kenthan Pillay. So it so happens that a young person who was so sick and tired of the system and not getting his ID, go Home Affairs.
I remember that story.
Ended up going to Home Affairs. I
remember that
story. And then I had to put him on air and I had to play hostage negotiator.
I remember that story.
It would come out only later how Kabelo Tibedi actually had a toy gun. That is my most memorable radio show.
I remember that one. Radio now is difficult. We even compete with silence. How many times have you been in your car but to samamela anything fell out via?
Yeah, we even compete with silence. Thank you once again, guys, for tuning in. The Hustler's Corner. Today's episode is radio. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's a father. He's a leader in South African broadcasting. He came from the bottom of the bottom. I've been very blessed to have seen his career from the beginning, from Jozi FM Community Radio. So when you're watching us here, have a conversation. Wherever you are, dream big. And know that you can start from humble beginnings and become somebody. I come from community radio too. Nakizoko, Voice of Tembisa, Tembisa Info Radio as it was called at the time. He comes from Jozi FM. So really to our careers at a community radio station when we were not getting paid when we started. But look at where we are today, just from humble beginnings all the way to becoming the man that you've become. Mr. BA2CADA.
It's Buddha.
How are you doing, my brother?
Sharp, is it, my brother?
Nice
one.
Yeah,
no, it's okay.
And that's where I want to start. The importance of humble beginnings. From scratch, and not undermining the platform.
Yeah.
Because I know I've worked at a community radio station. I know but they look down upon the community radio station. I don't know if it's changed now, but some people don't think they can go very far by starting at a community station.
No, I don't know. But thank you so much for us Buddha ka invite and give me the opportunity in this fast-growing podcast. I'm a fan. I mean, I've got so many episodes. It's a good check on how the content is real. Obviously, something that I'm expecting from you. You have grown so much also from obviously you've always been my older brother, but coming to this space is a podcast. One can see your experience and the maturity, obviously, because this space when I've realized that everybody can get into it, and which is good. But one thing that makes you different from all others, one can see experience. One can see that this guy, we got it from farts. Like you just mentioned, now we started go community radio. I'll talk about yourself, Anya, community radio, TV, business, what. We've been looking up to someone like you personally. I've been looking up to someone like you for over these years. And getting into this studio, I was so impressed to seeing young people. Babaya, that's this boo that we know. And sometimes I feel like you don't get your flowers, my brother. And before our interview, I just wanted to say, you're one of the most important people in the country at the moment. You have always been. And Challenges are always there, but I like the way you deal with them all the times. We learn a lot. We might not be talking every day to say, hey, Baba, we are learning. It's 20 years later, I'm on radio, but I can still say I learn a lot of things from you till today. And keep it like that, my brother. Keep it like that. Rona stories are Rona. People will think like we're buying faces. I don't have time to buy faces. I've got 20 years experience, but I'm talking the truth.
Southern Comfort. Some of us know it as SoCo. They have hooked up with DJ Chaotic, one original spirit with another. If you know Southern Comfort, the smooth whiskey base with stone fruits and spices, you know you can mix it with just about anything. You can mix it with lemonade, cola, orange juice. Yes, you can mix it. Now stand a chance to mix it up with your mates, because Southern Comfort is giving away a house party valued at over 100,000 rands with DJ Chaotic at the decks. If that's talking to your original spirit, buy a bottle of Southern Comfort to enter. Details in store. Southern Comfort, so tasteful, so original. Drink responsibly. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
Some of us are here because of people like yourself.
Thank you, bro.
Some of us are here because of people like yourself. And South Africans, unfortunately, we like giving flowers when somebody's not here. And my brother, I think you've heard this so many times. You are a great human being, and keep it up, my brother. We're learning a lot from you. Let's start about myself. Let's start about myself now. Yeah, no, my brother.
And then let me mention, by the way, guys, I appreciate your humility. You know, BA2CADA has been here. I was not even aware that he has been here for almost an hour. And even in our industry, celebrities, people just stand up and leave. All right? And let me just apologize on camera. But also just appreciate your humility.
Thank you so much,
I've been waiting for this conversation for many years.
Thank you so much, Panaka. Thank you so much. I'm also honored. Yes, you talked about starting from the scratch, from the bottom. Maybe I was fortunate enough when I got to radio, I was still young. When I got to community radio, I was still young. So I was not even aware whether people are looking down. For me, it was just a dream to be there.
Okay, is wrong, Jozi FM.
Hey,
and King into a saying, oh yeah, Jozi FM, why radio?
I'm originally from Free State, so I came this side because of Sgela. Negito Geleza, mo UJ. But radio has always been my thing. Growing up has always been my thing. So when I got here, I always wanted opportunities. Let me give you a small story. 2001, when I got here, my dream was to get into radio or TV. I got Kai advert there, newspaper, there are TV auditions, what. I came down here, go Newtown. I was naked, like
memories.
With a friend of mine, Pat, 2001, knowing that we're coming for auditions, it's at TV, because I wanted to be on TV badly, TV or radio. Only to find out if it's like here to paisa the police. Those people.
Oh, I can open the advertisement. But and what appear on TV? How big as into my advertisement.
Repeat like these people sharp on the camera nyana. We rocking what we needed to rock. I can show you. Hey, I'm talking like Jozi, no. After about that or shy nyana something nyana la. But guy the police,
so until lo paisa I can't na paisa tsa company ngone ba re WWI mara company le ngurutile o rekisa o rekisa strateng tse re paisa le gona mo strateng tsa Jozi na rekisa di toys, the calculator, the shaving machine. But one thing that I appreciate out of that hustle, ba ngurutile ho etsa nyoko ba ngurutile o rekisa. Although it was not a nice thing in the sun or kokota door to door wa baisa, but I learned a lot.
I couldn't, my brother.
And then you're like,
but it just shows that I've always wanted to get an opportunity more industry.
So you knew what you wanted.
I knew what I wanted, my brother. I really knew what I wanted. I always told my friends that I'm either going to be a soccer player or on radio. I always knew that one of the two, you know. So I heard about the auditions, Coach Jozi FM. I went there. I went there about 10 o'clock. I only got to audition around 10 to 6. 10 to 6. That's when I got an opportunity to audition. But because I wanted this badly, I got in there, I did my thing, and The rest is history, my brother, like they always say. And that opportunity from 825 hopefuls to be the only one taken from those auditions,
Sure.
it really meant a lot for me. So that was the start. And I'll always respect Jozi FM. I'm what I am because of Jozi FM. That was the start for me. And from then on, I never looked back. From then on, I never looked back when I spoke that. Then,
For now, go meet le Jozi FM, Bill.
we met Joseph 20 years ago, my brother,
Yeah.
to be precise. 20 years ago. And I don't know whether you still remember. You know my farewell party at Joseph FM was done by you guys. Was done by you guys, Seko Togoza Park. You and TK.
Yeah. Wasn't it? I think Gifle Remy was still alive. I think Gifle Remy came. Ne?
Yeah, I was with you.
The Brown Dash. Actually, I think that's when the conversation about feature and video happened.
Yes.
Yes.
Buddha, I got an opportunity at Jozi FM on a Wednesday. I don't know when did you guys know that I'll be leaving. My last show will be on Friday. But you guys arranged in 3 days. You arranged my show, my farewell party. Go Togoza Park. We had about 10,000 people there. 10,000 people. So these things sometimes you do them. Lona haliboni the impact. You guys don't realize the impact. You're just doing it at that time to say whatever. But for me, it will always be mopelonyaka, that thing. It will always be mopelonyaka. And many people, I always say, hey, Ikareba from Lona. Lirona, and I've taken so many things from you yourself and Zola. I've taken some things because especially these young boys that are growing up on radio. One thing that made TS Record to be what it is, you always made sure you guys kept in touch, so there's no way when I get into that studio, and people can take it easy, that thing. But that thing made TS Record back then to be what it is, because all these radio presenters felt like they were your friends.
They
felt like they were relationships, my brother.
Yeah.
That is why people are talking about Payola. And I've never got a call from anyone to say, hey, I'll this and that and that and that. But through relationship, our lata pina mutu wala kielo ra. Kabo wena, braka. It's like a relationship. That's one thing that I learned from you guys. And even today, we don't talk every day with some of my man, but what we have learned all along, the way they respected us from day one. Even today, we will stay even an hour because I'm coming to Zbu because I know it's I know it's relationships. If in a second relationship, that's when arrogance can and the ego can and the in the. But if we respect each other from day one, we will respect each other going forward forever.
I started my career at a graveyard slot, Liko Community Radio. Was the prime time slot? I think it was an afternoon drive. Was that your first show, Go Jozi FM? Or did you start from another show? And if you did start from another show, how did you grow to end up getting a big show?
I actually started at 12 to 3 for about 6 months, 12 to 3 afternoon with Lungile Masondo. But I guess they were just trying to because it was my first radio job. They were just trying to make me feel comfortable. I was the first, radio presenter to broadcast in Sesotho. And my presentation style ain't that fast. So these people was way today. Never see show about this guy what. But after 6 months, it happened that DJ Mketeza went for leave or something. He went for leave.
Also, Mketeza opened up space for it. Guys, the golden rule of radio. The golden rule of radio.
Says leave. Till today.
Mketeza. What's
what's I think we 3 weeks. Yeah. First week you wanted to come back, but
you see, that's what they always say. If you're a new radio jock, I was always waiting for stand-ins. I was always waiting for Fetch or Fresh or Rude Boy Paul or Thomas or any of the YFM DJs or Bokabzela to go on leave or holiday. Because in Jalo ne get a show. Hey, get a show ya high. Get a show. Get a show. You go in. You don't play because you never know who's listening.
I get that. Zbuda let know na. I can know fella because I know. I radio. Now I know. Mgeteza will tell you. After a week he came back, but I don't know. We said 3 weeks. So and yaba since and that 3 to 6 slot obviously Lesedi FM took me from there, from Jozi FM. I went to SABC. We all wanted to go to SABC, to a bigger platform.
How did it happen? How did Lesedi FM gig happen?
Dr. Chomani Choman.
The legend.
There was an OB. Normally on Fridays we usually used to broadcast from Jabulani Mall.
Yeah.
Kadi Fridays.
Yeah.
So it was there. Like just like you said now, like, you know, do your show as if like it's your last one, because you'll never know who's listening. So now I was just there doing my usual thing. Kati Date Choman was in the mall. So he asked for my numbers from the producer. Then I think it was Friday. Then on Monday you called me to say, yeah,
did you meet him there at Jabulani Mall?
I didn't.
Oh, Jozi.
And my producer at that time didn't know who Chomani is. Chomani. Yeah, he actually asked for your number. Seriously. Now it's like, because very like yo. Monday he called me like, Invid, I took your numbers Friday. My station manager and programs manager will be in Joburg. They are based in Bloemfontein. They are here to come and listen to you. I didn't have to tell you this, but I wanted to tell you. So please don't change anything. Just do as you normally do your show. They'll be in Joburg to come and in Soweto to come and listen to you. Okay, sharp. I just did my show on Monday and I actually forgot that they were there. I just did my show. On Tuesday I got a call from them asking for an appointment on Wednesday. On Wednesday I was offered a contract to come, and I came to Lesedi FM, came to do the afternoon drive show, and I did it for 14 years straight.
Yo!
I did it for 1-4 straight, no breaks, nothing. Nothing, no pushing more fire, and you go for. I think when I will leave
almost 10 years, brother.
Almost 10 years.
Yeah, 9 years. Bang kubile 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but
3 months
just
back.
they were ruta fela.
Yeah, they were ruta fela.
You know, so I did it for straight 14 years, Buddha, and after 14 years, I was then taken to breakfast.
Because what I did was, because the radio ke rata ka pelo ya ka kaofela, that's why I went on the internet radio.
Yeah,
I was on
Massive Metro. Remember, I think you had Keteza there.
Yeah, ne re spana le mketekete ka mgo ke nganywa radio ka teng.
Yeah.
What makes a good on-air radio presenter?
Personally, not coming from now, I always say you need to be yourself. You need to be relatable to people. You know, radio is not. It's no longer, but it has always been like that. You just need to be relatable. Talk about things that you know, because on radio you don't know who's listening. Professor, doctor, this and that and that. Talk about something that you know. If you don't know anything about something, don't say anything about it. Talk about something that you know, then you become relatable to people. So for me, everyday life experiences makes a good presenter. You can never be a good presenter, Ilori. Your lifestyle, you don't how buika ka what you know. So for me, you must preach dintho tso di tsebang. O ska tlo re jwetsa ka ntho tsa states, so ka oba states, so ka o palama for fun. Don't tell us about Dubai, so ka oba Dubai. When you tell us about Dubai, you transfer claim that you have been there. You should know that you have been there. So a good presenter should be a person that talks about what he knows and something that you can back it up. So for me, except being original and knowing yourself, just be relatable, my brother. Just be relatable. I never had an opportunity to listen to Kabzela. I think I just listened to him for 2 years before he passed on. And I'll tell you, I didn't understand Sizulu. But he was just so relatable to me. He was not one of the best radio presenters in terms of voice projection and whatever, especially because our style as PBS radio stations is different from body English radio stations. If I don't know whether you have realized that. Our presentation style as the radio station style language is very different from when we present English. So Kabzela, for me, he didn't have that radio voice, but he made it so simple and relatable. And he made it, listening to someone like him, you could feel that anybody could be on radio, but it's not everybody that can be remembered like Yena and Anahopolo. So I only had 2 years to listen to him. He was so relatable. But he was not my type of presenter, to be honest. But what I liked from him was the ability to be relatable to the listeners, was the ability to talk to a listener as if like this thing that is happening on social media now, because as if like we know each other, because you can talk to somebody from America as if like you were with that person yesterday. Kabzela could manage to do that on radio back then, whereby it was very relatable. When he talks to a listener, it's like somebody that he knows. So for me, if we can be able to master that, to master being relatable to the listener, for me, you are a good presenter.
What are some of your most memorable shows or most memorable interviews? But by lengo go about host go di show tsao.
I think Ntate Maponya. Having an opportunity to having live in studio. We had a 1 hour interview.
I've always wanted to meet that man.
1 hour interview.
He passed on.
I had an opportunity, and it was supposed to be a 15 minutes interview. I dragged it for an hour. That's one interview that I will never, ever, ever, ever forget. I think the second interview, fortunate enough, I was one of those that were there for him even during difficult times. I think Sun City, because I was there every weekend. I was there every weekend. For me to be able to...
While we're on that story, let me also mention, Lena used to.
I know. You even organized an event there, go Sun City.
And also let me mention this one, because I do know that he's been trending lately, and there's been a very sensitive issue between him, Leo's Amanda Dupont.
Yes, I saw it.
And I mean, I get it about, but I wanna mention this point now that we're talking about it. The event that you're talking about that was organized, he actually invited us. Okay. He organized it from the inside.
Okay.
We came in, Sibusiso Lope Education Foundation, I would sometimes invite celebrities to come on board.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, people always love, because, I'm next to these guys. I invited Amanda Dupont.
I remember,
Yeah, and I went with her at that event, and there's a picture even now in their case. Sadly, it's a sensitive matter, but I have to mention this one. I took that picture. I
actually asked myself for Rukeni Joanka phone, because I remember
I
remember we had to leave them there, the reception. Yeah.
And I know some people always say, Usis Amanda did not willingly go visit Uputmulemo. Yeah. We invited her as a foundation. But because we're doing so many good initiatives, a lot of celebrities used to support us. Yeah. She was there. I took that picture, and let me just clear the air and mention that part. I know it's important, because I also remember one video that Mrs. Amanda Dupont did when she was trying to relay this message, and Batubamu peace on social media. Yeah. You are lying. You used to visit, and I mean, but I want you guys to know that she was telling the truth there. She was invited by my foundation, and I took that picture of when Jub was an inmate in there, and we were together, and we're all doing Musebeti wa Mudimu.
Yeah.
And out of such a great thing, it does sadden me where things are right now with the type of energy that is out there. But I love all of you guys, and I wish you guys all of the best. Thank you.
Nice one, Spuda. Yes. So I was talking about Mulemo. I wanted to get to this point. His interview coming from a prison also is one of the, I think is one of the best that we did, because I managed to convince him at that time to take the interview. He didn't want to take any interviews. I managed to convince him to take the interview. I managed to convince him to say certain things on air that he was not comfortable with, but I managed to convince him. So it's one of those interviews, because I knew how sensitive it was, and I knew that one mistake on that interview could have spoiled everything. So for me, Ntate Maponya interview ya Molemo when he was fresh, and that was a very sensitive issues, Buddha. And for some of us to align ourselves with him, it was very risky for our brands in the industry and stuff. But at the end of the day, Kibona that comes. I met him even before all these things. So for me, it was just a metaya boto. But for me to be able to convince him and to convince him and to ringoled into Fatsi to say, I want you to touch 1, 2, and 3. And he agreed to do those things. And the impact of that interview after that, in shaping a bit of his life for, to welcoming him back in the community, will always stand out for me.
Okay, let's put the interviews aside now. Now I've got so many interviews that I can say, this was my most memorable one, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which show? Interview.
Yeah.
Show.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you my one. My one was, we got a call from a young man who had been, and I was actually, my producer at the time was a lady called Kanye Makubane. She's a political analyst. Some of you guys know her.
Yeah.
Kanye was reading news on my YFM afternoon show. She tells me that there is a story, or there is a call that we have from the Home Affairs. This person wants to speak to you live on air.
Yeah.
And at the time, the manager, I think it was Kenthan Pillay. So it so happens that a young person who was so sick and tired of the system and not getting his ID, go Home Affairs.
I remember that story.
Ended up going to Home Affairs.
I remember that
story. And then I had to put him on air, and I had to play hostage negotiator.
I remember that story.
It would come out only later how Kabelo Tibedi actually had a toy gun. That is my most memorable radio show.
I remember that one.
You remember that story?
I remember that story. Powerful story, my brother. I remember that story very well.
What is your most memorable radio show?
Ice Buddha di Paya. I don't. We Rona Radio, we treat it as something to change or to try influence and change other people's lives, but I want to take it on a different tip, Hanyani. For me to be able to influence the movement of Sesotho hip hop, this thing that we call Tsepe now. That is now artists like Ntate Stana, the late Malome Vector, we just said that he passed away yesterday.
Hey, may so rest in peace, man. Sad news, I've had a chance to interview him as well. Incredible outie.
I was at the forefront of using my radio show and the influence to push Sesotho hip hop, the one that we call Tsepe. I've always been of the opinion that Jozi, they've got their identity when coming to music. Northwest, they've got their identity with their Motsoako thing. Gqom, KwaZulu Natal, but Free State, we really had nothing. That was me sitting down and saying, we really have nothing. So I used the radio to influence that. And today, we've got artists like Bostana, Bo Vector, Bo Wave Rider, Bo Jacob, that are, supporting their parents through the very same thing that we started from scratch, through radio. So interviews, we are done with interviews. We are talking about the show. But one thing that I just remember is the impact that I want to show the viewers, is the impact of radio in making sure that we launched a subgenre hip hop ourselves from Free State. That today we've got artists that are making a living out of it. So for me, that's one thing that also will always stay in my in my profile to say, I didn't do it alone, but I used my influence and the radio power to make sure that today we've got something that is called Tshepi, which is Sesotho hip-hop. Today, our kids in Free State can proudly bine ka Sesotho because back in the days growing up, when we wanted to get into this space, re ne re batla ho bina ka Sizulu because we felt that Sizulu ke sona that you can be able to make it ka bo kwaito and stuff. And it's so embarrassing how bina ka Sizulu se force us as tsebo le Msotho like myself, you know. So I instilled that hope ho bana and the belief that we can do it ka Sesotho. And today, when we started that movement 14 years ago, the results I think these young artists that are benefiting from it today. So it's one thing that I've saying the impact radio and how powerful radio can be.
O khudile o mamela bo mang radio?
Ke hodile ke mamela you won't be able to know him. Ke hodile ke mamela the guy called Thabang Rampoana. Thabang Rampoana was a Sesotho best radio presenter for when growing up. Unfortunately, passed on.
May soul rest in peace.
He passed on. I think he passed on. I was still in high school by then.
Okay.
I never had an opportunity to meet him, to be honest. I never had an opportunity to meet him. Ke money twice, got something like Rentista show ya Bloemfontein. Ke monela from afar. It was somebody that I liked so much. That was the person that I used to listen to. Coming to Joburg, I got exposed to Linda's Bia, one of the best radio presenters you can ever have in the country.
One of the best to ever bless the mic.
Brother. One of the best.
Lena, we had him on my radio show. He also confirmed.
One of the best,
he confirmed that he's coming back on radio next year.
One of the best.
DJ Fresh has also confirmed he's coming back to radio next year.
One of the.
So I'm happy these idols and these role models, these legends are coming back.
And those two that you've mentioned in that, those are real broadcasters. Those ones I see, those are real broadcasters. Fresh, when coming to radio broadcasting, Fresh can be off radio for whatever time, but Fresh will always be missed on radio. Linda's Beer can be off radio for whatever time. Linda's Beer can any time he will be missed. I'm also a big fan of Robert Marau, a huge fan of Robert Marau. So I got exposed to many people. Linda Sibia, for example, I liked him a lot. Then people like yourself came, and for me, we're not a good radio presenters.
Like a Foster.
Not Foster. But that on its own opened another door for radio broadcasting. Then how many people came? They really don't have this radio voice as it was called back in the days. But they made it today. Through people like yourself. Linda, first time when I heard you, I was like, this is not a radio voice. But there was this thing that I can't explain. And that thing on its own, it opened a window, that is why today, I don't want to mention names. We've got people, you gave them a trust and a belief that it can be done this day. They won't say it now. I can mention their names, but there's no need. They are big names. But I can tell you that they, Lelala change our face here radio to say, you don't really need to have a radio voice to make it. I think that's the role, and you're not aware. But in now analyzing radio, Rona, when we were growing up, Thabang Rampoana, Linda's Bia, it needed a certain voice. It needed a certain voice. But people like yourself came in, and it took another direction. At least a creativity, at least a charisma on air. Some people are just relying on their beautiful voices. Then came but wasn't on the radio voice, but they had something. They cover around that radio voice. So I got exposed to them. Linda was one of them. I still for me still my number one radio presenter. And funny enough, when I started first to listen to his show, I couldn't even understand the word he was saying. I couldn't understand Sisulu. But the flow, my brother. The flow. So I still, even now, when as Buddha, when talking about radio presenters, I can never talk about radio presenters. Best radio presenters, Kisabuika Lindasby. Kisabuika Lindasby.
You've only done the biggest shows on Lesedi FM. What makes a morning drive and an afternoon drive such big radio shows in any radio station?
But I believe morning show is more difficult than afternoon. For me, afternoon you can get away with so many things. Morning, morning a blind man. Morning. I don't want to say, but you need to be well researched. I don't want to say afternoon you don't need to be well researched. But morning for me, it's actually more challenging than afternoon. For me, afternoon you can call me anytime. I'll rock it for you. But morning for me, it's just on that point when I still believe Lesedi FM took me out of afternoon drive earlier to breakfast. I still believe that they took me out there earlier. They thought that I've achieved everything. I've got about 7 awards from that afternoon show, radio awards. Yeah. So they felt that I've achieved everything there. Personally, I think they took me out earlier. I still had a lot to offer, especially to young people. I still had because I had a specific target market in the afternoon. So morning, I'm enjoying my morning show, but morning you need to be a bit matured also as a person, a bit matured. So for me, maturity in terms of the two shows, that's the most different thing that differentiates between the two shows, the afternoon and morning. You can't get away with so many things. Afternoon you can get away with so many things.
I agree.
You also agree?
Yeah, I've done both shows and I agree. Morning you don't have room for the
never. But
people easily pick it up. Because people baqala matsatsi a bona vele through, everyone is listening, but by skolong, but by spanning, by mametse ko dikareng. You are getting people starting their days.
And
people
morning we can hear you howly empty, but afternoon we can't. Afternoon but morning we can hear
wow, let's talk your spirit in carries down. Yes. The listeners can pick it up.
They can pick it up. So for me, that's the difference. And we now doing breakfast. Take our fella yourself, Metro. They've got, but the competition of radio, but it will get there. It's not the same as about 5-10 years ago, in terms of the competition. Hey, 2002 na le mama, Metro na le mama, 5 na le mama. You remember there was a time.
I remember.
You remember that time?
I remember very well.
There's Boo guy. There's Fresh guy. There's CADA guy. There's Glenn guy. There's Ing. I think we've lost a bit that competitiveness. Radio. We have really lost it. Lost the touch. In terms of competitiveness, and I don't want to blame anyone. Times change, but quality presenters will never be replaced.
You've just said something so interesting. Times changed. What has kept you so relevant all these years? It's going for 20 years now.
Yeah.
How do you do that as a presenter to evolve and also have a long career on radio? Because we've seen other presenters who are good, but who are not going to be on radio for long. They either get fired for whatever reasons, or they never have their careers last this long. For you to be at such a big radio station, one of the top 5 biggest radio stations in South Africa.
Yes, sir.
And to do their biggest shows for so long. What's the secret?
Yeah, for so long. Hey, sometimes I also ask myself, hey man, what's the secret? I mean, to do a generation in Arona to be on one show, afternoon show for 14 years, it's a big achievement.
It's a blessing.
It's a blessing, my brother.
As you are saying, there's many people knocking, waiting for spot. Everyone wants to take your job.
But I've actually, I was telling you about Linda's Bia. I actually wanted to go on Hanyani after Linda's Bia. I had 2 role models, actually 3. After Taban Rampwane passed on, I liked Linda's Bia a whole. Then I got exposed to yourself, Zola, and Buga Love. And I'm not saying this to buy anybody's face. I'm talking my truth. I got exposed to yourself, Buga, and Zola. Then what I did, I took what I wanted to take from all of you, and I left what I didn't like from all of you. I took some good things from you. There were some terrible things that you were doing that I didn't like. I never took them. Zola, same thing. I took what I wanted. Take Sadi Battling, I left them. Buga, same thing. I took what I wanted. What I don't want, I left them. These 3 people, they made me what I am today in terms of radio presenting, in terms of, not radio per se, but the life outlook. on itself. You know, Rona, when we were growing up, I remember my mom used to say Zola is the next president.
Many people used to say that.
Yeah, my mom used to say Zola is the next president. I had an opportunity to be very closer to him. I could learn a lot and take what I wanted to take and leave what I didn't want to take. But these people, they made me so relevant even today. And you guys don't know because I watched the mistakes. It's a bias audience. It can be financial mistakes. It can be too much fame. It can be whatever. I analyzed yourself, I analyzed Zola, and I analyzed Buga. Then out of those three characters, I made BA2CADA character. And this BA2CADA character, because it's been analyzed from three people that I like, is going to be around for the next 40 years. It's going to be around for the... Serious. So now I will be as relevant as until in Nakibata. So to answer your question, I took from three guys that I mentioned. So 20 years is still a short time, my brother, for relevance. I'm still going for another 20 because I've learned from the best, man. I've learned from the best. I'll make an example. You know, I was telling Buga the other time, hey Buga, I remember Shapile short, so Shaile vest, Shaile sports.
Yeah, vest white. Short and karki khaki.
Yo,
Kadi all starts at the boots. Atewa who's a three. Yeah.
Smuda.
In fact, I don't think Puga was aware of what he was doing. Ndona kasi ka sport ka all star.
Ke batla o ba jwalo.
Z3 slahla.
Akwala mahlo so. I can still see that remember that day ke bona that picture. And I can child like one day I want to see myself driving this car. Ke shaile short fela ko kasi ke le easy ka vest and stuff. Nah, that's me kili one. Zola, when he could relate to Batwaba Holo and young people, I told myself that, hey, one day I want to be relatable like this guy. I can't Batwaba Holo bare, eish, ngwana o, wa itse keng, ha ro mametse ngwana ka e ka re bana ba rona ba ka o mamela. It's happening today. That's what I wanted to be ke bona o Zola. Yourself who pusha, kore who pusha, ke bona batho ba re ba pusha. Maybe what so far as Buddha o sa rata o bua ka hustle too much, but ho hustle, my brother, re bone ka wena. Ho hustle, not to hustle ka botleva, but to kena dinthong tse leng hore under normal circumstances be never okay. So ka ba le that attitude nje ya batho ba ba itiriba to say ke tlo etsa so, and I achieved most of those things that I wanted for myself. I drove cars that I driver because of the influence in the bona botike bo kabza re tla re hola. I've made the projects tse leng hore di ile tsa etsa difference to kasi mo ke tswang teng through what you guys were doing. I've made the impact, and you know, the parents tsa rona, especially people ba mamelang Lesedi FM, the trust that I've built who the listeners tsa rona is something that I took from Zola. So I will be relevant for as ever as I want to be, because I've learned from the best. And I know there are some that are learning from some of us. They must take what they have to take from. They must not take everything, because we've got our own mistakes. Must not take everything. I also realized through the mistakes but because you get to understand you can never be perfect. Take what you need to take from BA2CADA. Saying that you feel you can't, leave them. But saying it's a positive, they will keep you relevant forever.
What goes into preparing for a morning show?
Hey, can I lo bona when as Buddha 3 o'clock or so last scripted? I'm like, I must be the fa pressure,
past 5.
Yeah, but people don't know the hard work that they've went before Tlotla show. Rona, my team, what we do when as Buddha, and it has actually worked for me ever since. We meet every day. Every day after show. So it's a collective effort. It's a collective effort that we do every day after the show. Then afternoon, because now Sonali talks about WhatsApp, we just add here and there. But most of the planning has been done immediately after the show here today. we do the planning at tomorrow for an hour. Then obviously ha re tlo kgona ho ba consistent with everything. Then we'll just add some important things during the course of the day. But by the time I sleep now, I already have how the show is gonna look like for tomorrow. So in the morning it's just to add here and there, but it's just preparing a day before that has been keeping us going. Yeah.
What is a radio clock?
Hi. Do you like that clock thing? Well, let's put.
We are creatives, we don't like structure, Mara, it's needed to keep people like me and you in order.
Yeah.
Because once I don't
like, well, it's a radio, but like you are saying, you can never. Life without rules is not life. If repeal and J, it's not. Personally, I'm bored not clock to be radio. Ibe
spontaneous.
Yes, unpredictable. Yeah. But it's life is not like that. Life is not like that. So for me, clock to keep some of us that are hot-headed to keep you. But the most important thing for me, clock, is to hook your listeners. Depending on the clock I use, but 15 minutes by 15 minutes to make sure. Now, personally, I believe that every 15 minutes you must have something that we look forward to in terms of hooking up. But for clock, like one highly discipline, to make sure that how we get it as you like. Yeah.
What is time spent listening?
I the questions are hard.
I'm kidding. Because I'm kidding. Now we're speaking to Batoba who are interested to be on radio. Because this is a hustlers platform.
Yeah.
There's many people who want to be on radio.
Yeah, and especially now. I think radio is actually more difficult now than before.
Why do you say so?
With these other platforms that are available.
Oh, okay,
with these other platforms that are available. I mean, now we can get into the car and decide to go to Bloemfontein without even opening a radio. So how on air? What is it that makes you so different that even when I'm in my car, I won't decide to switch off my radio or so radio now is difficult. We even compete with silence. How many times have you been in your car but to samamela anything fell out via?
Yeah, so, we even compete with silence.
With silence, Buddha. With silence. How many times? You don't even listen to other radio stations and whatever. So that is why I'm saying radio now is more difficult than before. But in terms of making sure, for me, the time that the people are spending to listen to you is very, very important. For me, it's very unlikely for people to listen for the 3-hour show, but by Mamela straight for 3 hours. So for me, but Mamela, but I'll 30 minutes about Swaraka. So for me, time spent listening, it's very important in making sure that, hooking up your listeners and making sure that your show, even though Basai Mamele for 3 hours, but the majority show you how at least you've hooked your listeners in terms of listening to the show. Whether I need 3 hours, my brother, now if you can just give me 1.5 hours, whether you listening or via and coming back in I'm sorted, because the competition for now is very, very, very tough.
That's why you guys here are saying coming up is your Haricho Jalo, we want to Hosaro or Atoka Koloing so coming up is 1, 2, 3 and 4. It's like I give a so like a Koloing. Because we are trying to keep you longer.
And those basics, most people are missing there. Radio basics will always be radio basics, my brother. Those things, it's a hurry. In 10 minutes time, they are very important. The throw forwards, they are very, very important. So most much, but they just doing it for now. Then cut into analyst Buddha. Throw forwards are very important because sometimes I don't want to listen to you now. But what you're telling me that you'll be covering in the next 15 minutes might be something that is interesting for me. Then I'll come back for that. So it's very important. Throw forwards. So I don't want to say I'm an old school type of a presenter, but I believe in basics. Basics, my brother. Basics.
You've used your radio career to turn yourself into a businessman. Let's talk about BA2CADA, the businessman.
When I was Buddha, like I said, I've learned from so many people, and I've always wanted to be like them one way or the other. They are not perfect, like I said, you just take the positives. I realized that when you're on radio or any other platform, you are as good as the time you are there. Once you are off there, daily. But what radio does, it opens doors for us, doors that under normal circumstances we're never going to have an opportunity to open them. This microphone will open doors for you. Will never make you rich, but what it will do for your name, it will open other doors out there. Yeah, so I treated it like that. Like my 3-hour show, I'll do what I'm doing, but I know this thing is going to open other shows. So I learned that even before I go to Spani, let me just hustle kamo side to see what I can be able to do for myself. So what I did, because I'm a sports person, I started with a soccer tournament, BA2CADA soccer tournament. I registered it and under my soccer foundation. My foundation. So the purpose of it, because I'm in the soccer space, I wanted to give the kids an opportunity back at home in terms of scouts, because the scouts is fella Jozi. They don't get an opportunity to go to Free State. So I arranged something. We'll be celebrating 16th year this year.
16 years, no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wow,
that's consistency.
bro. Congratulations, my brother.
That's consistency, and we've got over 13 kids that are playing professionally now.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, so
that came through your platform.
That came through the platform. And after that, you'll remember that Celtics and Free State Stars were sold. So there was a gap in Free State in terms of a professional team. I then opened a third division team called the General with my friend, my very good friend, Kamuelo Mokocho, to try to close the spaces Celtics. So because of the tournament, we're keeping the kids only busy and exposing them for 16 days here, December, the 15th to the 3rd. We realized that during the course of the year, there's really nothing. That's when the concept, a soccer team came through. We're celebrating our 6th year since the team has been formed. Now, 2 months ago, we had about 23,000 people at the stadium to go and watch an amateur team. 23,000 people. So that's also the platform for the kids, talented kids by provincing. That's the second one. The third one, it's on the Toaster Rona, which the concept I took it from SLEF. We go to schools, we go to prisons, get talks, get motivational talks.
Nice.
Sometimes I don't even go to talk myself. I invite my people that go and talk to different audiences that we have, and I turn that into spanning, because we can't be doing these things for free. But in as much as you can't be doing them for free, they must come from the bottom of your heart. It must be something that you love. Otherwise, because there's no money into these things, if maybe something is not coming up. So my soccer team, I've arranged it in a way that I want to see it tomorrow as big as Kaizer Chiefs. So we're in the business of selling players, to be honest.
Nice.
I can selling players, but we're in the business of making sure that we're opening doors for them.
Nice.
Professionally. So that's the space that I'm at. But all these things, when as Buddha, those are community projects, if you can check. But they nearly put me in trouble, Kasars. So it's a lesson to we all wanna call ourselves the businessman. We all wanna call ourselves for I'm owning a company, but do we really understand what a company entails? Do you really understand what do you need in order to operate a company? I nearly got myself into trouble with SARS. I'm actually we're still busy communicating, but trying to reach a settlement. But
same here.
I guess my story will be
guys, pay your taxes. Trust me, pay your taxes.
I guess
I'm going through the same thing you're going through. Negotiating with them for settlements, and it's not easy. Because it's not like they're going to give you a settlement payment plan up my 5 years or 3 years. No. But we can give you only 3 payments opportunity.
Oh.
3 payments. The million it's a bus. I've
never had this money. But it's a matter of experience. And unfortunately, some of us will have to walk this journey for others to learn.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. We'll have for rich and nalwena for others to learn. So let them not do the same mistakes that we did. Now, in trouble so kasarsi. because of community projects that I'm doing. But SARS yona based on the traffic ya nyoko e kenang account da e kenang mo PTY, for them you are doing business, which is something that I did ke sena the knowledge and experience ya teng wa bona. So I just hope people will learn. People are quick to rotshe ko ba sa understand or SARS dila ka eng Buddha wa bona. Just because Baris Buddha has got problem ya SARS, people corruption, this and that, not even understanding. But unfortunately some of us will have to ban in order for batlang kamera or babe sharp, because the thoughts about the accountant and what, we didn't know about these things when as Buddha. We read and but say batlo child no born or like yo ke experience and knowledge.
Yeah. And good little last the batlo chase about no 100,000 but then again in my mind. But in my mind also, I was like, this one is a seasoned broadcaster.
Yeah.
It never na.
Yeah,
But
but the reality is when as Buddha through the experience and the talent and whatever that we are bringing to SABC, not only SABC but in everything you really need to be
remunerated well. You're a pro, bro.
Yes, sir.
You're a pro. You deserve even more.
Yeah.
People on our level, go America, my brother, they get millions and millions of dollars.
I was shocked. Like, why Batubali shocked?
My brother, it's not even a lot of money. Because
it's not even a lot of money. So I was telling about and people no, man, there was nothing wrong as Sizwana Buile as Buddha. You know, if there was an issue as Buddha, Sizware, Bamotsa Hore, do you think this guy would deserve that? I don't know what he said, but I know Tony Bamulan says I can't handcuff. There's nothing wrong, man, if Mutasa is Buddha. We can't be known by the whole. How many times do you introduce yourself every day?
Humility.
Ah, it's Buddha.
Batho ba lata snepe sa hae ba. Ha o tsebe lo no hirile ke mang hi. Ha o tsebe na o kaile Spani di bane.
There's no, I can't expect to be known by everyone when that's Buddha. I can't. That is why I never even replied.
Yeah, but that's what I love about you, your humility.
I never even replied.
You didn't even come out and say, hey, my brother, like our gas Spani.
No,
you just kept quiet. It's people who spoke for you.
They spoke, my brother. And then I'm cover, and I'll tell you why I can cover, because now I listen to different radio stations.
Yeah.
Now I watch television, different channels. So for him to say handcuff, I never saw that as a disrespect. And people, I was getting the inbox, the call or the DM to say, I won't try, my brother. If Neki Mamet's in Totse, no, Ikaba Yense beef forever, and there's still another day to live. Bona Reshap, life is contiguous. I mean, Loena's Buddha about Kavika fella this
exactly.
Ospanetata, so you know, you Loena how about to introduce yourself. Because you don't know, doesn't mean or everybody knows you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shout out to Caesar, my bro. You're killing it there.
Yeah, well, Sis.
At least a fella, no. Kinnakarako 2000, but you can't say. Pass my regards to Sol Penduga.
Nice one.
As we wrap it up, BA2CADA, the family man.
Thank you, sir.
The father.
The father's Buddha. I'm a father of 2 kids when I was Buddha.
Congrats, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Junior Palace.
Palace.
How old are they?
Thank you so much. Junior is 14, Palace is 3.
Nice.
Yeah. When I was Buddha, with the type of job that we are doing, but that's my personal opinion. It's my personal opinion. I've realized that it's very, very difficult to have a stable family. Entertainment industry.
Yeah. It's not easy.
That is why I respect people banally stable families in this industry. This industry has got so many things on. It's not easy to sometimes you are away for a very long time from home. It's not easy to have a stable family. But a stable family makes you different from people that don't have a stable family, especially in this industry. So I actually realized that in as much as I know how difficult it is to have a stable family in this industry, but a stable family will make me respect Espani, because now I'm no longer doing it for fame, I'm no longer doing it for relevance, but I'm doing it for my family. So my family has actually banthusitse haholo to also be grounded in this industry, be very, very grounded in this industry, because like I said, without family structure, sometimes re are kawate, and that's the life e leng hore la ra experience in this industry. So it is a discipline, mo ho nna, and most of the things that I'm achieving even in the industry is through the support of family. So I'm a family man through by through. I mean, time ala ka ntse le le teng, o le la ka ntse le le teng.
Dumela le kae bagolo. Are you so blessed, bro?
Le time ala ka le lo ledi la time ala ka, they still alive.
Wow, bro.
Yeah, so
you're so blessed, bro.
Yeah, so I'm from ke tswa bathong ba jwalo. So that is why I respect family structure so much. So yeah, ngithusa haholo wena Sibuda. I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a family man.
What's next? What's coming up?
What
do you still want to do?
Sibuda, and I still for now, for this year, ke batla nka the best breakfast show ke shape wena la ka shaya Sibuda. Now when Sibuda, I still get excited to get the awards.
Yeah.
I still get excited to say your show is the best.
Yeah.
I still get so excited. So
because that's what you do. They say Black Coffee is a businessman, owner of multiple businesses, but he keeps the main thing, and the main thing is his DJing, it's the music.
Yeah.
So Luana, your main thing, get ready. That's why it matters that you get those awards, because that's your main thing. Everything else
So for me, it's still to make sure that I stamp my authority more gaming. I've been fortunate enough to be 20 years in the game, but I still feel I can do another 10 or so.
You said 20. Let's go for 20.
Yeah, I still want to go.
Let's go for 20.
I still want to go when as Buddha. And to those that are still coming up, opportunities are there. Abatle ba push. I think the only difference, and I don't want akiba kombi man ba holang wabona akiba kombi. We just need fella to be focused and know why only gaming. The mistakes will be there, but don't repeat same mistakes. It's about Buddha by everybody. Then you say. I had to make mistakes. No. We've made mistakes on your behalf. Lona, know you guys need to push, man. They need to push when as Buddha. Let's on body podcast and stuff. There's an opportunity now. Podcast there as a controversy fella, and we don't say how fella lebeli serious interviews. Podcasting it a bore. But if you can respect whatever that you do in there, that space. Personally, we rinse re tlo ba le talent e paya, even le dintwana tsa rona tsa bo nthos Buddha, tsa bo piano. I always say when I get an opportunity to talk to some of them, to say, Ntwana, there are some people that are still friends now that were more popular than you, and were friends at their peak. Some of them, unfortunately, now they've got nothing to show. So, Luena, it can happen to you. And ki mention majita kwaito. Even the guys that started piano 5 years ago, there are some that are off the radar now.
Yeah.
5 years ago, not
even a long time ago.
Yeah. So make use of this opportunity now, because they always don't stay there forever. Make use of the opportunity now. And as what batla thola an opportunity via like SABC, like Buala via and come back.
Yeah, but it does not happen.
It does not happen, my brother.
That's why I'm grateful, my brother.
It does not happen, my brother. And also, you kept yourself relevant. I think if you didn't keep yourself relevant, take a massive metro and podcasting. I don't think
and they moved on.
You understand? So, in as much as only grateful for the opportunity, but you must also be grateful for the hard work that you put in to keep yourself relevant. Because if you didn't, the past. So thank you for the opportunity, Khotmaneaka. And when we started here, Neko Gaya, how do I feel about you? Keep going. Keep going, my brother. Keep going, and I can allow Bona one thing that a new thing now. Yeah, how you've been doing it for the past 20 years. You are always trying to be positive, the most positive thing, and it helps. it helps. Sometimes la bona one year, just try to be positive. Lo wena o tla utlwa nje man, o feel a grand. You've mastered that art, my brother, and some of us le rona, we are who we are today because of those teachings. Don't know they are teachings for us. They are teachings for us. It's unfortunate that South Africa, we celebrate our people abavaile, but you are one of the guys, and I'm not buying your face, I don't have to, but you are one of the guys that needs to be celebrated. No china. Rather than retlolla tomorrow. You are one of the guys that needs to be celebrated. Wait fela ke bele nyoko braka ke tlo yetse re tlo ja ditjai. Re tlo ja ditjai ke re ke yetsa ditse smooth at this one. So your role, my brother, is appreciated by some of us. It's appreciated by some of us. We are who we are today because of people like yourself.
Thank you so much for the wonderful positive words. I appreciate you too.
Yeah.
I've always loved you from back in the day, from Jozi FM days. I'm proud of everything you've ever achieved. And Galebo for you using that microphone to impact Zichaba, change people's lives. Congratulations to all the lives that you've ever changed. But even more. And as we close it up, what are your last words to the future Sbudas, the future Caesars, the future BA2CADAs? One day they would like to end up becoming successful broadcasters.
Now I just want to say, man, there's an opportunity for everybody. Just do yourself, just be you. Do what you have to do. Sky is a man kapama, my brother. Everybody is unique in his or her own way. So personally, I believe that sometimes you get into the industry for wrong reasons. Fame is one of them. How about fame? The industry will give you fame. You are going to get it. But consistency in Chakakiona that will keep you apart from your own peers. So do what you're doing. Don't change anything. Just learn from the others. Because sometimes when you talk like this, it's not that we Mr. know it all, but we talk like this because we also learn from others. Like I said, I'm going to repeat it again. Take whatever that is good that I'm doing. The flop and then ospane into these good positive things that I'm doing and build your own career, my brother. All of us, we learn from somebody else. You'll get yourself one day and be an original somebody. So just be yourself, do your thing. Opportunities are there for everybody to take. This cake is big enough for all of us. Take your shen chaka ube sharp and leave others libona bankiabon. Thank you, Buddha.
The Radio King, BA2CADA. I love you, my brother. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Buddha. Thank you, my brother.
We'll meet Naliana tomorrow morning. The corridor.
Over 10 million, 10 million South Africans.
Millions of South Africans. Keep doing your thing, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. Buddha. Thank you so much, my brother.
We'll see you guys on the next video. Danko!